guys, and welcome back to my channel. So you probably already know what time it is. I'm about to go ahead and get ready to leave out. So I figured that I would do my makeup with you guys. It's been a long time since we've sat together and talked and stuff, and so I figured that I would just go ahead and film a video. Baxter, don't even start it. Shut your mouth. So I figured I would sit down and talk to you guys about kind of just like where I've been at in life and the stuff that has been triggering the type of human that I am becoming, because every day, every experience, everything we do, you know, it kind of just like triggers who we become, and it inspires us. And can we all talk about the fact that when Jay-Z released the Footnotes to his album, like, can we talk about how powerful that was for the black community? Because it was like he was saying some things that I feel like really needed to be said, just about like our black men, and about like, you know, how it is in black America, and how we're just, you know, you have to be a certain way and you have to program yourself to speak differently, and you know, you can't, the projects are what they are, they're a project. And just, you know, recognizing kind of like who we are, and you know, what we come from, and how, you know, we are still pretty much enslaved. I know for myself, my dad was incarcerated for my entire life. My father, I have barely any memories of him beyond being outside of jail. A lot of what I know about my father came from people telling me what type of man he was, but I never experienced that on a first-hand basis. And I feel like that I'm reaching a different level of consciousness as a woman. So I'm starting to see that my father has been institutionalized, and because he's institutionalized, it's really hard for my dad to understand me or to do the things that are important, because all of the years that, you know, he should have had to teach me, should have had to learn how to be a dad, were used with him being in jail. The only part that I don't like about wearing silk is that, if you get anything on it, it just like imprints it. And I had like some body lotion on and it got on. But yeah, and it just makes me sad, because I feel like because of my father's circumstance, he mentally being incarcerated, I feel like that he just isn't the dad that I know he could have been had he not been in jail. Because he's trying to get over, you know, he's trying to learn who he is as a man. He has no idea how to be a functioning human in society. He's been in jail. And my bad. And I just feel like that him being incarcerated, I've always had like a different outlook on loyalty, and you know, what it is to be loyal to a man, because you know, I experience loyalty being that when he's down and out, which would be prison, that you're supposed to be there for them or your man at that time. And so I remember that back in the day, well, my stepmother and my father actually ended up not being together, because my stepmom cheated on my father when he was in prison. But mind you, my dad was in jail for 12 years, 13 years, for honestly, like a long time. And I remember that when I was growing up, I just felt like that my stepmother was so outrageous for cheating on my dad, you know, while he was in prison. And I remember one day my mom had said to me in the car, when I was kind of like explaining to her how I had felt about it, she's like, you know, it is so unfair to ask your stepmother to stop living her life because your father is in jail. And as a young child, I could not understand why that was not feasible. I couldn't understand why that wasn't okay. Essentially, because all my life I had heard how my daddy was such a good guy, I couldn't understand why she wouldn't wait for him. Now that I'm older, I realize it probably was because she was lonely. And I mean, imagine being alone for 13 years and only having conversations with the person, you know, that you love when they're allowed to use the phone. The whole concept of jail in itself is just like inhumane beyond your wildest dreams. I remember that when I got arrested, that like literally I got transported from one jail to the next, and I was like literally inside of a dog cage. I mean, like in transport, I was inside of a truck, but they put you in like a little thing that is like as small as a dog cage, and I just remember feeling like I was less than human. And this might be taking it a little too far. I don't know how, you know, aware you guys are, but you know, that is why slavery was so successful, was because they made people feel as though that they were less than human. By dehumanizing somebody, you're able to kind of break them down, you know, as much as you want to. And it's crazy that that is what our jail system does. And that is so crazy for Black people, because ultimately, like, pretty much a lot of people in the Black community are products of the jail system. So when they have to come out and be you know, part of our family, they can't be, because they don't know how to be, because you've been in a dog cage for so long. You know, they haven't been taught to be like a normal person in society, and it's just really sad. And you know, our community is crippled by that. So when these men are looking for other men to inspire them and to teach them how to be fathers and how to be functioning in this society, they pretty much don't have anybody. And they're going to, you know, their OG, you know what I'm saying, the man who taught them about how to make money, and expecting for him to be able to teach them how to love. And just like Jay-Z said, you know, your OG taught you how to make money because that was his level of consciousness. His level of consciousness was that, you know, he was able to make money, and he was able to make, you know, a life for himself off of the street. But he has zero consciousness about love. And I just found that to just be like crazy, because here you got this 47-year-old man, you know, married to a woman that I find to be so successful, so beautiful, and so inspiring. And he's telling us like that he doesn't know how to love, you know, that he doesn't know, you know, how to love her, and he doesn't know how to you know, treat her the way that she deserves. And this is a man that so many rappers and just so many people in general look up to, saying, you know, I'm imperfect and I need to get right with my wife in order to get right with life. And I just felt like that was just crazy. And I want to, like, I just feel like it was so commendable for him to go out on a whim and to become vulnerable, because people, when you tell your truth, or when you're true to yourself and you are able to speak openly about who you are, number one, that is a sign that you've been healed. So never be afraid to be that person. Like, anything that I say on my channel is my truth, and so I'm going to tell it, you know, from my angle. And by being able to talk about the things that have happened to me in life, or to just talk about who I am as a person, it actually has healed me more than it has hindered me. But trust and believe, it's hard, you know, those times where people try to be like, well, you know, you're pretending to be somebody else because people want you to stay the same. And don't ever think that you have to stay the same. Don't ever think that you have to stay who you were yesterday and the day before yesterday and a while ago, because a person who is always the same it's retarded. You never grew. And I don't even understand how you can move through life and you didn't even grow. Like, that makes exactly no sense at all. Sorry guys, I feel like the lighting was a little bit off and I just didn't like the way that things were looking, but I probably won't delete the clip that I just recorded, because I feel like I really was just like, I was saying a lot, and I don't want to lose that. But so I'm sorry that the beginning of this video probably looks really bad. But yeah, so I just feel like that there's too many people that have a voice and they don't have the right message, you know. And unfortunately, I do think that like when you become a person in a certain amount of power, you do have the social obligation to somewhat be to somewhat be truthful. Like, you know, it ain't all like as good as it seems, and I feel like that's why I try to be like as real as possible, because when it all hits the fan, like, I want y'all to be like, nah, she was always 100. You know, like, I was always 100, and I never like tried to make y'all be any different than who you are or sway you to have the opinions I have, because we're all different, and like, that's what makes life so great, is that we're all different. And I don't want you to be like me, and I don't want to be like you, and I want everybody to be who they are, and we don't have to be in competition. Like, you know, I want all women around me to do great and be great, and so I'm not going to put you down or compare myself to you, and I wouldn't want anybody to compare themselves to me. But what I was about to say is, I wanted to tell you guys about like where I am also in life. If any of you guys follow me on Instagram, my Instagram is Antonique Adele. It's my first name, middle name. If any of you guys follow me on Instagram, then you probably noticed that pretty much all I do is go to school, go to the gym, and I stopped eating meat. If y'all want me to do an entire video of why I stopped eating meat, then I will, but just to basically kind of like put it in a nutshell, y'all can go and watch these 2 documentaries. One is What the Health, and the other one is called Food Inc. And essentially, after watching both of those, I never ate meat again. I am one of those few people that was able to stop cold turkey, and I think that once you guys watch it, y'all will be like, this is why she stopped cold turkey. I mean, like, I literally watched those documentaries and I never picked up meat again, because it was really just like that crazy. And I'm just a person like that. Once I have my mind set on something, I don't care if it took me 5 minutes to come to the conclusion, I'm going to align my life with that belief. Like, I think that people who always are waiting for something, I don't understand them, because I'm not a person that waits. Like, I am an immediate action type of girl. So when I make a goal, or whenever I tell myself something, that's just it. It's final. And that's pretty much how that went. It was final. As soon as I figured it out, I was like, I'm done with that. So all that I do now is, it's a lifestyle, and it's a forever thing, and it's not a phase. This is it. And I think that my family is mostly just kind of like, you know, why aren't you eating meat? Like, and it's funny how when you're doing something good for your life, people seem to be the most negative. And that confuses me so much, because it's like, I'm doing something good for me and you are like bashing me for it. Like, I'm making a life choice that I feel like is improving my standard of life, and you're upset with me about it. Like, I don't understand that. Like, I don't understand how people do that. And I don't, and it's sad, because like, working around multi-races, I feel like that it's mostly Black people that always have something to say, and I don't know why. I'm not saying all, but I am saying that if I would have, for all the people that have noticed, like my Black coworkers, for instance, always have something to say. Instead of just taking in the information that like I'm talking about, it's always, oh, she's not eating meat today, or oh yeah, now she doesn't eat meat, like it's a joke. And it's like, if I take my health very seriously, and this is something that's like a big deal to me, then why do you have to make a mockery? Like why do you have to mock me for something that's important to me? Because I don't do that to other people. Like, you know, when other people tell me things, I never make them feel like I'm judging them for their decisions. Like, I'm comfortable with other people being who they're going to be, and me still being who I'm going to be, and it doesn't have any effect on my life. Or, you know, like, I don't understand that. But I want to point something out to you guys. So I got this Sonia Kashuk palette from Target. It was on sale for $9. And I wanted to tell you guys, I really love it. I really love this blush the most. It looks so nice on my skin tone, and I really love this because it's like such a cool little bronzer. I really love it. So I'm excited to try it on camera, but I'm gonna highlight first. But yeah, so I just thought that just was like so annoying. And it really gets on my nerves, but I'm starting to realize that the more that I learn about like life and myself, the more that I'm not like everyone else, and the more that I'm accepting of all people. Like, I don't really need anybody's approval. And I hope that I raise my daughter to be that type of person too, because I don't want her to ever, you know, change what she's gonna do or change who she is, because who she is because of other people, especially not because of me. Like, I want my baby to be who she is by herself. But what I was about to say is that I'm going through this phase where I like being alone, and I find that to be another thing that people think is odd. Like, because I like my own company and I like to just be kind of like by myself, and you know, like I like going to the gym and going to school and just doing all these things alone. It's like people are like, yeah, right, you know, or that there's a problem with it. And I'm just like, why can't somebody just enjoy being by themselves? It's actually an issue that people can't be by themselves. And I have learned more about myself and just more about life in general being all by myself, because I have been forced to focus on me. And so by being forced to focus on myself, I have had to train myself and train my mind to work in a certain way so that I can be the most positive person, the most influential person in my own process of growth. And I'm not saying that it means you have to be alone for the rest of your life, but what I am saying is that you do need to take some time by yourself to figure out who you are on a singular level, because you cannot mix who you are with somebody else if you never get to know who you are by yourself. And I feel like that there's just too much pressure to be with somebody else or to be linked to another person, when you should just enjoy that time to figure out who you are and exactly what you want from life, and you know how you're going to make your dreams happen on your own time, on your own terms, and kind of come to that understanding with yourself of how far you're going to go and how hard you're going to work and what exactly you're going to do. And I feel like that it's a lost art that people just kind of be alone and focus on themselves. And even for like your dreams, I feel like that I work so much harder on, you know, who I am, and then I push it out to you guys. Like, I want y'all to be, you know, who you're supposed to be, and I want you guys to come to your own terms. And I feel like a lot of the times, like, well, not a lot of times, but sometimes I'm disappointed in myself, or I'm disappointed in other people, because I feel like that I'm expecting too much. And if I can't expect anything from myself by myself, then how can I expect stuff from other people, you know? So that's why now I feel like it's just so important that I'm taking this time to be cognizant of myself and my needs and who I am and what I need to be completed, and what I need to be whole, and what makes me tick. And I feel like not enough people take the time to figure that out, because it's unfair for me to expect someone else to know how to make me happy and how to make me feel whole and feel good if I don't even know how to make me feel whole and feel good by myself. And I used to always want to be with a man so that he can complete me, like we're gonna complete each other. And now I'm just kind of sort of like, I just want somebody who's cool, who I could chill with sometime, and who we come together and we're better together than apart, but not that completes me, because I complete me, you know what I'm saying? So just a lot has been going on in my head, and my needs as a woman have changed the type of person I want to be. I sat on the phone today with Colin's father. Colin is Gigi's dad, and who I love very much. And I was on the phone with his dad today, and we were talking, and his dad was just telling me about like how like life and how different things in life mold you to do different things and to think different ways. And how your experiences overall pretty much determine you. And I was like, yeah, that's so true. And how most people react to other people without thinking of what they've been through and where they've come from that situation. You know, they're just reacting. And I was like, it's so true, because a lot of people, when they communicate, but they don't really talk about what they're really communicating about. So instead of telling a person how you really feel, you say something and then you expect for them to decode your emotions and to understand what your true message was. So for instance, when you tell your man, like, I don't like you hanging out with her, you know what I'm saying? And you're like, I don't like you hanging out with her, like, I know she's sneaky, I feel away, blah blah, you know. And instead of telling him like how you really feel, you kind of just expect for him to stop hanging out with that girl because, you know, you got something in your mind, you know what I'm saying? And so what you really should have said was, baby, I don't like you hanging out with her because I've been in her shoes before, where I have had feelings for someone that was my friend, and we got a little too close and we crossed the line before, and I want you to understand that I see those patterns in her behavior, and I don't want you to go against me. And so I want to let you know that I would feel more comfortable if you didn't do XYZ. But because people are so programmed to not, you know, to not be 100 with how we really feel, you know, we don't give it up. We're not telling everything. We're not tell-alls, you know. We're just kind of giving what we want people to know, because we don't want to feel vulnerable. We don't want to feel broken. And it's such a weakness to not be able to say how you really feel. And I'm one of those people. And I realized that I'm so afraid sometimes of I used to be so afraid of showing weakness that I would expect for people to be able to read between the lines, and that I would just automatically punish them even though I'd never communicated my real issues. So every person that I was in a relationship with, that we always broke up, or we always had these crazy issues, because I was unable to properly communicate how I really felt. And I was unable to really tell them genuinely how I felt, because I was afraid of being weak, because I've never had a dad to talk to show me how I'm supposed to talk, or to show me how I'm supposed to address an issue. I've always just watched my mom be a strong woman, and my mom calls shots, and my mom says what it is and keeps it moving. She never speaks but underneath of that. It's always, she's coming straight from strength, and there's never any weakness. I've never seen my mom be a human. My mom has always had to be superhuman, because she was a single mother of three children, and you know, she had to be superhuman. She had to live a life alone because she needed to be whoever I needed her to be. And how hurtful is that, you know? And then you have these men, again, who don't know how to love and don't know how to see past that frustration, who, you know, instead of turning to God or turning to you for clarification, they turn to another woman, because it's easier that way. It's easier to have sex than it is to communicate. It's easier to betray somebody you love for a minute than it is to see past the emotion and see them. And I'm learning so much about myself, y'all, and I want to be a good person so bad for my baby, and just so that I'm able to help you guys be better people. And so I hope that by me always telling you guys like my flaws and being so honest with you, that I'm able to inspire you guys to be the same types of people, because there's too many people hiding behind what they should be and what they feel like they should be. Like, bro, you don't gotta be nobody. You can be whoever you want to be. Like, if y'all want to shave your heads tomorrow, please do so. Like, if you ever want to change how you look, you can do whatever you want, but I do encourage you to try to figure out if you can love who you are first. And I'm not perfect. There's so many things with myself that I want to change. Like, I feel like I'm chubby. Sometimes I feel ugly. I hate that my skin has acne scars, you know, and I hate that I have a little bit of a chip on my front tooth. I hate that I have like canine teeth right here. I hate so many things about myself. But y'all, I honestly, well, I don't hate it, but I have things I don't like. But this is me, and I have to learn to love myself, because if I really, really, really want y'all to be healed the way that I say I do, then I can't sit here and preach and not love myself. So I do everything in my power to better my circumstance, but at the same time, I still have to tell myself, you are beautiful, you know, you're deserving of the love from yourself. I used to always want to get the words worthy of love tattooed on my body, because I wanted to tell myself that I was worthy of love from other people. But then I said, yo, I'm dead wrong, because I'm worthy of love from myself, and I'm the only person that's not loving me, because y'all are so kind to me and say things to me that are just so sweet. I'm so undeserving. I'm undeserving of the words you guys say, and I wish that I could make your day as great as you make my day. And I wish that I was able to hug every last one of you guys that just say such nice and kind things to me, and I do not deserve it. Because I'm just like, when people go out their freaking way to tell me that I'm beautiful, I'm just like, you don't understand how thankful I am for your compliment. I'm so thankful, and thank you is never enough. Because I'm just like, even though I love telling people that I think they're beautiful, it's just so weird when other people say it to me. And I hope that I'm able to help you guys, and that you guys really understand how important it is for us to be conscious of ourselves, and to be conscious of the people that we want to be, and to be conscious of our level in the world. But I gotta take this call. I love you guys so much, and I thank you for watching my channel. Please subscribe, like, and I'll see you next time. Hello?
This is a global tail rate prepaid call from